Welcome to the Real Double Dose Channel broadcast station, focused on the real reels of real life, love, growth, and of course, elevation within all levels. RDDC is exactly the place where anyone can discover more depth, love, light, and clarity within themselves, and elevate from other people's walks of life, conversations, and questions, along with deeper insights. So tune in and be a part of the Double Doses with Lexus T and RDDC.
Hello, my beautiful RDDC and S&M FDS family, which is the Real Double Dose channel, as well as Spirit of Mind Elevation and FDS for Flip the DA switch in your life and turn it on all the way and don't leave anything flickering. Don't even worry about it. This is your host Lex coming at you straight from the heart, where the talk is real, the vibe is live, and we're here today, right now, wherever you are. And thank you for tuning in from TuneIn, Stitcher Radio, Spreaker.com, Podchaser, Google Cast, Deezer, Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud. Yes, shout out. As well as, Pandora, we can't forget Spotify. We can't forget all the links and all the things that are out there. And I'm sorry if I'm not naming them all, just like I want to name all the beautiful countries that are RDDC familians and FDS familians and all those coming aboard. The mission and the journey are here. But I feel you. I see you from Belgium. Okay. All the way from, France, from Italy, from Columbus, from Montgomery, from Florida, from all the places out here. Yes, from Colombia. Shout out to Colombia, Santa Marta. Yes, familia. Sorry. But I'm just, giving the love where from my gente to Mexico, to beyond, to Spain, Barcelona, Venezuela, all those beautiful ones, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, all them, okay? We even have Kuwait. We have different ones going on in Morocco. We have Russia. We have different ones in Turkey. I mean, I'm telling you, Australia, yes, to my Aussie folks. Okay, so I'm going down. I'm trying to regenerate that here, but I don't want you to be like, man, shade. Look, I promise you, I know I don't come on time all the time, but I do deliver. Okay? I know you're probably like, well, what's the point of ordering pizza if you don't know if it's going to show up 4 weeks from now, Lex? Guess what? You're still going to eat. There's a day coming up that you're going to eat. So let's just work with your girl. Trust me, it's for a great, extraordinary, phenomenal cause. I almost said phenomenal, but I had to back it up a little bit. So yeah, I mean, the pauses and stuff like that are only for regeneration, regrouping, and launching it phenomenally. And I want to let you all know that if you want to reach out to us, or you have any inquiries, or want to be, selected or going on for the show for an interview, for something that you have to share or say, remember to reach out to us always at Real Double Dose Channel at yandex.com. That's YANDEX.com. You can find those links at the blogspot at realdoubledosechannel.blogspot.com, as well as www.realdoubledosechannel.com. And like I said in the previous episodes, we're working on what we want to do with our phone number moving forward and how big we're going to scale it to who can answer it more. Because the phone calls picked up. They did. They were coming in quite a bit each day. So we're trying to figure out that number and transition it to something more utilization, so we can help our family out here, the family behind the walls, and so much more. Don't even worry about it. But I just want to say prayers and blessings to all. And let's get into this conversation. So all who are new here, welcome. And those who are continuing to download and keep playing, thank you. Don't worry, we're figuring out TikTok and YouTube as we speak. And I say that, you're probably, what about IG? Facebook's going on to a different level, to where we're going to have more master classes and masterminds, okay? The real ones, not where every time you turn around, someone's asking you cha-ching. But you're going to cha-ching inside yourself, okay? It's an investment in yourself if it ever did come about down the line. But at the same time, we're getting there, and more video prolifically, and those links are as well as the SoundCloud, and they will always be updated and sifting through. You can reach us anywhere, even Flip the Switch at Flip the Switch, FLIPDA Switch, SWITCH, at Reborn, REBORN.com. I just want to say that's another email. The Hector Rivera, who does the Heck versus Hell, where the truth he tells, every Friday. Skipped a Friday or so because that was my bad mostly, and some technical difficulties always come in our life. But I want to do this one, and I know I'm a little bit more cheery than I thought I would be, and I had to collect myself. But this is a little bit more, it's numbing, because I'm probably going to get emotional during this conversation. As you all know, you probably don't know, for some of you, I probably had about 10 funerals in the last several years. That's not to mention the ones before. And they become so normalized that your feelings become on a conveyor belt to where you can't even sift through one without another one trying to shove its way to the next line. Unfortunately, that's how it feels. But this is called hashtag the last 24. Okay, or hashtag your last 24. But I like to say the last 24 because it's not specifically designed for you to say, oh my gosh, you gave me 24. Not me. 24 could be anything. 24 minutes, 24 hours, 24 years, 24 weeks, 24 days. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, right now, I'm talking more so on 24 months. Okay, but you can put this whatever trajectory you have because each minute is not given for a promise. I mean, that's the truth. So I want to get in this conversation. I want to say R.I.P. to my primo, my cousin, Daniel. And I just want to say at the end of the day, your name might have been, lagrima, which means tears, and teardrops. In Spanish terminology, depending what Spanish region. I'm kind of an international pot, even though Colombia and Mexicana is kind of the style I grew up in from the people in my family who were around. But at the end of the day, and don't worry, like I said to my native, yes, I still remember my grandfather's land. I still remember all the stuff that goes on. I remember my Irish blood también. I mean, as well. See, I'm getting into it. And Hector and I have a lot of conversations in Spanish, which we're going to have a Spanish channel as well, so we can network in that, so we can reach out to more people. And also other Japanese, different languages as well. But personally for us, we're going to be syndicating that off because, one day when I do have little munchkins of my own, they will be having that as their primary language and English as their secondary and so forth to make sure they stay linguistically up to par on, roots and beyond. So I want to call it the hashtag, the last 24 because my cousin went through a long journey. And even though his life, I mean, he was definitely the terminology of a general, I almost said, but a straight general. And I'm not going to say too much about it, but he did have his ties within the cartel and different things that happened, allegedly, right? I was going to say that for legal purposes. I don't, get too far into that. But at the same time, he had transitioned that life that I believed. And either way, whatever happened, someone took his life. And unfortunately, it hurt me to know that he was sitting there, passing away, dying all by himself on that ground, in this, basically sidewalk or this alley type way. I can't, my mind's not wanting to dig too far in it right now, and plus it's getting on like 95 degrees out here. I can feel the coolness, but don't forget to understand elements happen. But overall, it bothered me, and it's my tia, which is my auntie. She always kept a bright smile, but I know it hurt her bad, to sit with someone for all those years. And I believe it was over a decade that he was locked up. And I a lot of my family and extended family that's not quote blood related is suffering from behind the walls, to friends who have been there for a long time, and people might have their stigma, which is not my business, nor is it someone else's, unless it's something heinous. I get it, you're like, oh my gosh, I get it. But a lot of these are very mediocre offenses that most people walk away from. Well, we're getting to that another conversation. It's not about culture right now. It's not about how the judicial system works. But anyways, judge not lest ye be judged. I'm just going to say that at the end of the day, for him to get out, bear his son with his lady friend and basically be gone. I was happy that he got a chance to at least leave a male offspring. He had his daughters, but it just got me where I was like, I found out, and it felt, being a Heyoka and a Starseed Indigo child, or a Starseed Indigo the way I am, I know of my purpose and mission here. So emotionally rooted and connected is more like fascination and trying to figure out things in that quote extraterrestrial level. But from a Heyoka empath, I felt it. And right before that, I remember I was on the phone with Hector, and I just got off the phone with Hector, and I just spoke to Angela too. And it literally, I saw this cute little squirrel. They always play in my street. And he's always chasing, the chipmunk is always chasing the squirrel. Like they're probably bothering each other's nest between the thing. And I get so worried they're going to get ran over because, sometimes they jump out in front of your car and you have no choice but to it happened to me. I'm trying to be mindful of them, but what are you going to do? Let the other car behind you slam? and potentially get there, or you try to stop but you can't, and it breaks my heart. Even when that happens, I have to pause. And some people say, oh, you're just so sensitive. Like, no, when you realize what you are spiritually and emotionally connected and mentally, you can't really define and put a cap on that, no matter how many people want to societize you and put you in that bubble like, oh, you're so, well, at least I know what I am, relax. But ultimately, I saw the squirrel laying up on his back, and his back was just there. I think he just freshly was gone because he didn't look mashed up. I'm just gonna say, disclaimer. But he just was like sitting on his back, and that's the same way I saw the vision or dream vision of a portal, kind of showing me through how my cousin passed. So I know it's never gonna take away, and I know that it's to a point where he won't see the Feliz Navidad Christmas era. But I know within my heart, just like my sister passed, my brother passed, my dad passed, my uncles, and aunties all passed, and more. I know that they don't have to suffer within the flesh or worry about disease or different stuff that we have to within the flesh, even though it's a wonderful experience. But it makes me look at, and let's get to this though, the hashtag the last 24. What is it though? Like his, from being transitioned out, he literally had like less than 24 months. So like what happened in his last 24? What happens to our last 24? Even though he has a beautiful son now that he cannot see grow up in the physical sense, even though we have these things, I think about that too. Even that movie, if you guys recall, you ladies and gents recall that movie, Final Destination, right? And I think it came out maybe in the later 90s. I'm not sure. You can Google it. But Final Destination. So sometimes Hector and I will have a Zoom night where we kind of look at different stuff, and our brains fuel so much, especially mine just goes crazy. And we look at stuff that has a meaning or a deeper field. And even when we don't try to find anything, is there, not conspiracy theories, like literally seeing for what it is. And we had stopped it for something that happened abruptly. Maybe it was time for me to like roll and go to bed. I'm not sure. But when we were watching it, and it stuck with me. I was looking at it like, man, what if like he got off that plane? And if you don't know what Final Destination is, it's a movie basically about, they have a couple episodes, but the first one was about escaping death when it's your time. So basically they're on a plane, and I forgot the kid's name, but he's on there, some blonde kid, he's on there, and he basically has all these signs beforehand, and he's supposed to take a trip to France with his school or classmates or something, and all these signs keep showing something to him, 1180 or different numbers. And then he has a vision inside the plane once they're boarding to sit down, a quick little vision that showed him how everything was going to happen, and how they all exploded, and he freaked out and so forth. And the people who got off the plane with him, summed up, were the ones who avoided that scenario from happening, as the airplane had to leave without them because security said they couldn't get back on, from what was going on. Him saying the plane's going to blow up. Basically, they were like, hey, you know what? You can't come back on here. So the plane took off midair, and they're like, oh, the other people who got off, the jocks or whoever, was like, you make me miss my plane to France, getting all pissed off. And then all of a sudden they saw the plane explode, and they all looked at him like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he was on point. Like, how did he know? Like, they all treated him suspect after that. But either way, eventually that death was running after them and trying to catch them in different ways, which is, it's freaky, because you can't really call the culprit on it in a scary movie. You can usually say it's a ghost or a possessed doll or something, but you couldn't do this right now because you're like, man, it's death, like trying to catch up with what should have happened. Like, what the heck? So it kind of like articulates your mind in a whole different facet. I'm telling you, if you're going to watch it, just watch it on a day you don't feel super depressed, but it does make you think, and it gives perspective to saying hashtag the last 24 is, what did he go? This is for all of us. It's not for the fact. There's some of you right now who I'm talking to have lost someone, about to lose someone, lost things. It doesn't have to be just life. You could have lost your kids. You could have lost your home. You could have lost your job. You could have lost your entrepreneurship. You could have lost conversational, emotional attachment. You could have lost a best friend relationship. You could have lost your sense of mind, sense of hope. You could have lost a lot of things. The last 24, it could have been your last 24 cents, your last $24, the last $240, last $2,400, it goes on. But what do we stand at right now? Where do we stand at right now? What are we going to do in the moments of where we stand? And that's what I want to provoke the thought of right now. So many of us, we take so much time We take so much energy, and that's what happens with life. We get to the point where we're like, man, we got to do this, we got to do that. And I'm telling you, I couldn't believe how long it took when Angela was telling me, man, I'm trying to do this, and then this happened, and this over here, and you can't avoid the BS. Sometimes it just keeps slapping you, like someone just keeps piling on the mayo on your sandwich, and you're thinking, whoa, 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 cholesterol check here. I'm just saying, tell the truth, neta, verdad, let's get it together. That's how I feel about it. Like it gets to the point where I'm like, man, how much can I fit? Even though I'm up at 5 something in the morning at this point, it's like, man, really? I don't have that much accomplished by 1 o'clock or noon? And it's like a forever different thing. But I'm like, man, how much longer do I have to go? So my question for you and all of us is, the same thing I'm going to say again.
Please listen to this special announcement. For the past few months, our DDC and Flip the Switch have been working on something amazing for your spiritual, mental, and emotional growth that can be brought into your physical worlds. And that is the FDS Think and Grow Rich Execution Style Masterclass, which doors are now open. Not only will you gain the clarity, insight, and blueprint form of what you need, along with the enlightenment you've been waiting for, but we are also rewarding you beyond your wildest dreams. That is definitely right. Rewarding you for not only taking the first step into creating a new life and new vision for yourselves and those connected to you, but also rewarding you with an excursion to live out your new hopes and dreams, to rewrite the chapters from your newfound level of life, all while relaxing and enjoying the moment where someone actually spoils you for you taking the initiative to change the game upon your own journey. So, if you want to find out more, we'll have a link provided on all our broadcast channels as well as our blog spot and www.realdoubledosechannel.com so you can get all the insights on how to sign up and get started today. And if you are a business influencer, entrepreneur, or anything under the sun that serves others, you might also want to check this out as well. So you can offer these special packages to give to your clients, friends, customers, students, and loved ones. We'll see you on the flip side. And now back to your favorite show with the RDDC's Double Dose wonderful broadcast channel.
So the question I want to ask all of you is, what are you going to do with your hashtag, the last 24? Are you going to move forward with it? Are you going to change a version of it? Are you going to be able to make yourself move to the level of where you have to be? See, the journey of understanding of what that is meaning if you don't know tomorrow's never promised, how can you continue to live each day as though you're promised the next minute? And if you're not moving on something that you know that you should, or you know that your family's waiting for, you know that someone else is waiting for, you know that some journey, someone is waiting for you to change. I can't change the fact that my cousin died. I can't change the fact that anyone passed away. But what I do know is he left here knowing he didn't do the things he had to do because he let the last 24 slip by him. So I want you to think about that for a second, and let's give a pause moment to respect where we are and ask yourself, what is going to happen differently in your hashtag last 24? Okay, so that was a little bit of a half a second. Maybe a second or two, but I wanted to give you that because I want to get to the point of where we see the last 24. Hashtag the last 24 is about that. I try to talk. I try to get to conversations, but it makes me wonder, like, people are like, you're so strong. You're the strongest I've ever seen. I'm like, yeah, but it takes a lot to get there. See, certain people have a level of strength, strongest, stronger, the greatest, the GOAT of all times, right? A lot of people have that. Some people are like, oh, that's such an easy life. But for that person, it wasn't easy. And some people say, oh, it's such a horrendous life. But for that person living in it, it was just kind of mediocre at best. That's what their experiment of life was. It is. I don't know what the last thoughts of my cousin was particularly, but I know that he thought of me. He felt me. And I know that because beyond a Heyoka empath or beyond that, and the star seed in me always leaves an impression for those moving forward. And he's let me know verbalization that I was a spark, just like many have told me, but I don't get like crazy in my head about it. I don't get all like, oh, that's me. I'm the shiner. I don't get like that. I always stay humble and meek because I know it's not me. It's given to me from the greatest in the spirit of all things, God of all things. I know that can't be me in just the flesh because I see what just flesh looks like walking around. and the thoughts that go through it and the things that they go through, because they're not connected to the spirit, or let alone how the spirit created me in particularly. Everyone has a uniqueness, but there's just some that go off the Ritz. And I want to say this conversation, Hector was really encouraging me, Angela especially too. Everyone was saying, well, what you going to do with this, the last 24? And I'm thinking, man, it has to come out. It has to come out as fresh as it is where the pain is. See, I cried and I shed some tears. I did. But, you know, that gate's kind of closed, and you can, you know, get to that. When someone tells you about, man, I lost my girl or lost my dude, if you had that happen to you recently, or a bad breakup, be like, man, I know how it feels. Or someone's like, I can't get really this belly fat on one of those ads. You're like, yeah, I feel you. You know, it's something that you feel. You can relate to people, even through death. Like, it's a guaranteed ticket out of life. Sometimes you only get the first breath. Sometimes you only get a couple months in. And, hey, for the great timers that make it to 110, 115, 120, they got the whole bid, you know. But ultimately, it's how we live life. Hashtag the last 24 is how we're going to live life, how we're moving forward in life. What are we going to do for that kind of life? And I look at all the things that happened. What was going on my sister's last 24? What was going on with my dad's last 24? Like, and it bothers me too. Like, come on, you could feel me on this. Doesn't it irritate you? I mean, and I love God. I love the mercifulness of the creators of all things, but it bothers me. And that's what bothered me about Final Destination. It was making me so mad, everybody. RDDC families, feel me when I tell you this. It made me so frustrated that I was like, man, and I was literally having a battle in my mind with God. I'm like, man, come on now. Like, I don't want to know when I'm dying. I want to know how sometimes, but I'm like, nah, I don't think I want to know how. But then I'm like, I want to know when. Then I'm like, nah, I don't think I want to know when. But it sucks because you know it's coming. Like, no matter what, you're like, okay. And then you just have to succumb to it and be like, hey, I pray that it's not going to be that painful. It's going to be quick and fast. And if it is going to be painful, it's just for a few moments. And for the simple fact that I pray that nobody else gets hurt and all my loved ones are okay. But then you thinking, man, like, I can make plans. Like, come on, Lex, we're having this conversation about hashtag the last 24. I got plans 4 years from now. I got a plan 5 years from now. And that's the point, though, that I don't want to get depressed. That's the point. We're supposed to have a plan for life. We're supposed to have a direction of what we want in life. We're supposed to have that. And even though out of the matrix society of school and $300,000 student loans for areas that don't even open anymore, and having a job with 50 hours a week and barely making pay, that's not supposed to be the life. But structurally, we're supposed to have a mission, even if it's harvesting fruit every day and making the best jelly jam in the world. You know, we're still supposed to be moving forward, not standing still, but we're supposed to enjoy the journey, learn the journey, connect to the spirit of all things, and ask for guidance and change the sicknesses that are in the world, even starting first with ourselves and those connected to us. See, we're not there to force healing on someone. We're there to become the resonance of where the healing will just start to happen when they're in our presence. Okay? Que no. I'm just saying, let's be real about it here. The last 24 is never promised, right? So we got to live, and the message is we got to live right now. We got to live for these moments. We got to live and get there, because the last 24 is on his way to us, regardless of how long it might take. It might take 50 or 70 years. It might take 10 years. It might take 5 or 2. And I get mad because I'm thinking to myself, man, did you even do what you're supposed to do when you procrastinated for a whole decade? You know what I mean? Like, did you do what you're supposed to do in that whole decade that transitioned potential millions of lives, Lex? Did you? But then I can't beat myself up for it and understand that in the way of how the creator made everything, there's always a system built for everything that we choose, pre-written, free will or not. I know it's a redirection, just like GPS will give you another quote. Well, at least I don't know the whole system of it, but the GPSs I've used, that at least 90-something% of the time, they gave me another direction. And then it was a longer route to get there, but it got me there. I couldn't see all the construction sites. I couldn't see all the blockages. I couldn't see all those things. And the GPS was able to tell me, at least the good ones were able to tell me what was coming to be in the future of my drive. But I look at that like, you know what? Let's live out the last 24, whatever we have, to its greatest point. And it's not just if you're supposed to go make a meal, make it. Yeah, you should do that. Read that book, do that too. But fit in something to where you can come outside yourself and be able to serve the purpose of why you're here. Now, some might say, Lex, why am I here? I don't even know what the purpose is. Can you give me a... No. I'm telling you, once you connect to all things that is and be able to get in that journey with God, you'll be okay, and you'll find that you'll feel it. It'll come to you like a surge of energy. It doesn't matter if it's making PB&Js and serving it out to people. It doesn't matter if you're having a bucket of soap and water and just helping someone clean their car or just giving them a word of encouragement. It's about positivity, doing great things of positive change, not going out there slashing someone else's tires and helping hate fuel in the world. It's about putting a prayer out there, putting a blog out there, putting something to where you're not constantly bombarded and staying still. See, the problem that we have is we're so entertained by things that are meant to entertain us. We're so distracted by not wanting to see the reality that death is going to come. We're so distracted by not wanting to see those things that we're hurting from that we want to turn on the next YouTube channel or do this and that. Trust me, I know that we get to a point of complacency to where we're not doing the last 24 right or the last 36 or the last 72. However way you want to cut it, we all got a ticket to death, and we're all going to meet each other there. We might not be able to see each other here in the flesh world, but I guarantee in the spirit world, when we transition, we might not have the mind to remember all the things here, but we're going to be able to do something on a whole nother cusp. And it is going to be payday. It's going to be pay up time. What did you do with your last 24? What did you do with your hashtag last 24 sentences and moments and minutes and months and days and years and weeks in this mundo, in this world? What did we do with it that is so magnificently great to the creators, not to the world, not going on America's Most Talent, not doing all this and trying to show yourself off and prove yourself to random people out there who don't even know who they are? But what are you doing to serve the divine purpose of the breath that breathes within us? That's the whole point. I don't know what my primo did. Hashtag rest in peace, Daniel Aror. I just want to say, I'm going to say Aror. Aror came out the wrong way. But I'm going to leave it like that because I had to say it in a spiritual form at the end. It's for privacy purposes, which is a beautiful name given to me for the future forward. I'll tell you about that later. But at the same time, hashtag the last 24. We have to make a difference in it. And if this will be my last or my episode to 300 more coming out, I want you to take this to your heart and understand it. I have never been on this platform asking for gimme, and do, all this other stuff. Because I want to give all that I can from what I can from whoever's downloading. And when I see that, even when I come in, there's spikes and thousands of downloads, or sometimes there's a couple hundred, I'm not going to complain about it. I was happy when I saw 1 or 2 downloads or 3 or 5 listens years and years ago. I can say that now, years and years ago. I was just happy because I know 1 equals 1 million, and it's still certified and got someone to take their time to hear the message that was given to them. And if you've been rocking with us all this time or just starting to, hey, welcome as always. I just want to say hashtag the last 24, live it out fully, live it out vividly, live it out with purpose and deeper meaning. Remember to always know that you can sign up for any of our stuff that we got going on when it comes up to the things that are going to be for our masterclass, which the links will be provided, like I said, on the website, the Blogspot, and as well as SoundCloud. You can check out our page and do different stuff down there. And we have different ones, webinars and stuff going in that are going to be basically our web classes and different masterminds. Going to be giving out nothing but freebies, having a good time, giving out vacations, giving out a good time, dropping jewels, money moves, every kind of thing you can think of as well to make sure you can get to that last 24 journey if that's the case with you. And even ideas that don't have to involve, quote, let's say money. It could just be the purpose. So don't forget to sign up for those things. I don't want you to feel left out. You might see us on the TikTok ads. You might see us out there in a promo. You might see us on somebody else's list. You might be hearing this from any platform right now, but we humbly invite you. Don't forget about the Real Double Dose channel being on there. We have the Flip the Switch SOB, or the Think and Grow Rich Facebook group as well that's coming on. It's launching slowly. Hector's doing some kind of scientific experiment with trying to get everything going on up there. He's very quirky, but he knows what he's doing when he gets in his mad scientist mode. But yeah, we have a lot of things, and I don't want you to always be singled out to just say, oh, well, we can only be on this broadcast. No, we're out a lot of places. Just check us out. Okay, we're going to keep constant updates up at therealdoubledosechannel.com. And remember that you can always reach out to us. We're here. We love you. You're amazing. Be the change, feel the passion, and embrace the power of the Spirit. Okay, if I said it right, be the change, feel the passion, and embrace the power of the Spirit, because it's always calling to you and within you everywhere we go in life. Okay, I just want to say that. Don't forget that, no matter what. And also remember to flip the switch, because we do want to see you on the flip side. All right, don't forget about that. So as always, we love you. You're amazing. You're a blessing. And hashtag the last 24. Make it phenomenal and get 24 plus 24 plus 24 times 24 more of goodness, greatness, and blessings. And we'll talk to you very, very, very soon.